Hello, my name is Susan Mingle. I'm the clinical nurse educator for Med1 Group, and I'm here today to provide education on the ICU Medical Plum Solo Infusion device. The purpose of this video, however, is for customers who will be using the pump without a drug library for instances where they're doing an investigational drug study or clinical trials. The device, as you can see, has a clear screen. It's made of Gorilla Glass, which just means it's more resilient, less apt to break if it's dropped. So I'm going to turn it around. This is the pole clamp. This is your power cord. It's always recommended to keep the pump plugged in. It takes about 8 hours to fully charge, and when it's running, the battery will last about 6 to 8 hours, but it will give you warnings prior to it shutting down so that you will know you need to plug it in. On the side is where we'll be loading the tubing, and we'll be talking about that next. A key feature of the disposables that are used with the Solo device is that it can provide concurrent delivery via a cassette-based set. Concurrent delivery means that you can infuse two things running at the same time, provided that they are compatible. They have a complete list of sets and accessories. So if you needed a 1-port, 2-port, 3-port set, blood set, low sorbing set, they have pretty much everything you need for your infusions. Some other key features are the flow rate ranges, 0.1 to 999. You can also use syringes concurrently, sizes 3 ml up to 60, and you can also use the syringe to provide air and line back priming. So now we're going to talk about priming the line. I've already primed this line, but I want to review a few key things. When you spike the bag, you want to spike the bag when it's off the hanger. Don't put it up on the pole until you've already spiked it. Once you hang it, you want to squeeze on the drip chamber until you fill it up to this notched line. The set that I'm using today is a 2-port set. The ports are called claves, one here on the top of the cassette and one down below at the IV insertion site. To start priming, you want to invert the cassette. This white knob here is called the flow regulator. You want to pull it out, turn it counterclockwise, and slowly prime. Once the fluid hits what's called the air trap, then you can invert it back in the original position, prime it till the fluid hits the end of the tubing, and then ensure that your flow regulator is pushed all the way in so that fluid is not running. Again, some of the features of the cassette, you have the port up top. This is where you'll do any piggybacks or concurrent delivery or attaching a syringe to back prime air. Again, the flow regulator, which pulls out counterclockwise to prime your tubing. And then down below is what's called the air trap. On the back is called the finger grip. And this is where you're going to hold that, and we'll be placing it into the device and programming an infusion, and we'll do that next. So now we're going to load the tubing. You'll open up this gray lever. Using your finger grips, hold the cassette, and you want to drop it right down in and close the lever. So now we're going to program an infusion. On the top of the Plum Solo is your on and off button. So we're going to power it on. It'll go through some self-tests. And then right in the beginning, it says there's no drug library. So do we want to continue with this? Yes. Then we're going to activate our primary line. It's self-checking the cassette, which I have switched to a teaching set, just so we don't have to have multiple lines and bags of fluid. So I'm going to tap this to program. So we're going to do no drug selected basic. That's really our only choice. And then we're going to do this delivery in mils per hour, and we want to confirm by continuing with that dosing unit, verifying that. We're going to program our primary. We're going to highlight rate. We're going to put in our rate. Let's just say this is a normal saline that we're infusing, and we're going to give a volume to be infused of 975, just underestimating a little bit, and press start. So this is program, doesn't have any dosing units. It's just letting us know that information, which we know. So we'll go ahead and press OK. And then down on the bottom right-hand corner is your start button. So now it's pumping, it's scrolling across. no drugs selected, and there's a caution sign just knowing that we don't have a drug library. The rate, the volume in, and the duration for all of that to go in will be 7 hours and 48 minutes. So the pump sort of dims out, just kind of goes into a quiet mode, if you will, which is just providing less pull on the power right now. So if I want to change anything at this point, all I do is tap it and then I swipe it. It's not a hard lock. We just swipe it left to right. And then we could make any changes here by pressing rate, titrating a rate, changing the time, changing the volume, etc. Go next. Then at the bottom, you have exit, options, stop. So now we're going to review some available settings. On the top of the device, there is a cogwheel icon that we will press. Let me wake the pump up. Press the icon. And the first row is clinical settings. This includes volume infused, downstream occlusion pressure, and log history. So if we look at the volume infused, this will have right 1, right 2, and the amounts on the far side, and then the total delivered. So if you're clearing it for the end of your shift, you would just simply press the red clear button, and it would clear out that information. Let's go back, and let's look at downstream pressure. The pump defaults to 6 psi, but the downstream pressure limits are anywhere from 1 to 15 psi. A typical PSI that can be changed, and we see most often, is it's set to 10. So you could make that change if you needed to, up or down. So let's go back. And then log history. This is just all the events that occurred on that infusion. We'll go back. Then let's look at pump settings. So the audio is alarm is low, medium, or high from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. It defaults to 3. And then the general volume, like for key presses, start and stops, and alerts, it defaults to 4. You can make any changes again from 1 to 5 there. And then the backlight, it's how the device is in a dark room. If you wanted to lighten it or darken it, it's off right now, the auto brightness. If you want to turn the auto brightness on, then it will automatically auto bright or auto dim depending on the lighting in the room. So I'll just keep it off because it defaults to off. And then underneath, these are more related to a smart pump, so we won't be talking about that right now. So we'll just go back. So now I'm going to program a secondary. And if you remember the tubing review we did, the clave is what you'll be accessing to program your secondary. Just wanted to make sure that that's reviewed. Okay, so we're going to program secondary, basic, mils per hour, continue. We're going to do it concurrently. So this cassette allows for you to do 2 things at the same time, 2 infusions at the same time. And the maximum mils per hour, the 2 combined, cannot exceed 500 mils. So we're going to program a concurrent. We'll put in a rate of 250 and a volume of 250. And press confirm. Say OK. And press start. So now you see toggling, both are pumping, right 1 and right 2. And you can see the volume infused, the duration of the, let's say, normal saline, and the duration of the next med that you were giving. I'm going to stop. Right 2. I'm going to clear this program. And then I'm going to program a secondary again but this time I'm just going to do the piggyback. Now, what happens different is that when the piggyback is running, the main line, the one that I first programmed, does not run. Just the piggyback is running. So we'll just do a rate of 50 and a volume of 50 and press confirm and say okay. And then we're going to tap to add a flush line. So I'm going to do 15 mils of flush and confirm. And so now this says pending because it's not infusing while my piggyback is infusing. At the end of this, the pump will pull air, but it will back prime the air out automatically. And once that's done, then the flush will start, just to ensure that, let's say it was a critical antibiotic that needed levels, that all the medicine got to the patient. So let's talk about a couple of alarms that you might come across. One would be air in line. It will alarm and it will show red as an alarm. What you want to do, and since I'm using a teaching set, if you remember the set had the blue clave on the top of the cassette, you would place a syringe in there, then you would press this blue back prime button and hold while the pump does the back priming of the air, and then just let go. Let me wake this up, and then it will just automatically restart the line once the air's been cleared. So another alarm that could possibly happen, let's say there's a child in the room and they're playing around with the device and they accidentally open up the door. You get a big alarm here. And it's stop the infusion. It's basically saying your door is opened. So you just close your door back. And yes, clears all the settings. I'm not ready to clear my settings yet, so I would say no. And then restart. Just a few that you might see, and it's pausing because it's just checking the cassette to make sure it's ready to resume the infusion, which it is. Now it's pumping again. So let's say I'm discontinuing this med, it's finished, and I'm ready to power off my device. Keep in mind, you want to make sure you go to your cogwheel and go to your volume infused because you want to grab those totals. So you can grab your totals, chart them, and then clear. And then I'll go back. And then I'll stop. And I will power down the device. Now I'm going to clear my patient. I don't need to save it. And it will turn off. This concludes our demo. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to www.med1group.com.